My head felt like someone was using it as a drum. I rolled over, and the room spun. The taste in my mouth was awful, champagne mixed with something darker. Regret, maybe. Then it hit me. Ryan, his lips on mine. The way he'd looked at me when he pulled away. The way I'd let it happen. No, I whispered, reaching for my phone on the nightstand. 53 missed calls. All from Ethan. My heart dropped into my stomach. Someone had told him. One of the girls at the party must have seen us and called him immediately. I could picture it now. Jessica trying to stop me, but I was too drunk to listen. Ryan showing up out of nowhere, saying he needed to talk. One thing leading to another in the corner of the bar. I looked down. I was still wearing my dress from last night, the white bride-to-be, sash twisted around my waist like a mockery. My mascara had run down my face in black streaks. I looked like exactly what I was, a mess who'd just ruined everything. I had to talk to Ethan. Now, before this got worse, I stumbled to my bathroom, tried to wash my face, but my hands were shaking too badly. The apartment felt suffocating. Every corner reminded me of us. The couch we'd picked out together. The photos on the wall. The coffee maker he'd bought me for my birthday. I grabbed my keys and left. The drive to his place took 20 minutes, but it felt like seconds. I practiced what I'd say the whole way there. It was a mistake. I was drunk. It meant nothing. Please forgive me. Simple. True. Desperate. I knocked on his door, my heart hammering so hard, I thought it might break through my ribs. When Ethan opened the door, his face was completely blank. No anger. No sadness. Nothing. That scared me more than anything. I kissed Ryan last night, I said. The words came out in a rush, like if I said them fast enough, they'd hurt less. I was drunk and he was there, and it meant nothing. I'm so sorry, Ethan. It was the biggest mistake of my life. I waited for him to yell, to slam the door in my face, to cry, something. Instead, he laughed. Actually laughed. Ethan? My voice cracked. You know what, Maya? He stepped aside, gesturing for me to come in. Thank you. I walked in slowly, confused. Thank you. Thank you for making this so much easier. His voice was cold, calm, too calm. What are you talking about? My legs felt weak. He walked to the kitchen counter and picked up his phone, scrolling through it like he had all the time in the world. I've been trying to figure out how to tell you for weeks, but now you've given me the perfect out. Tell me what? The words barely came out. He turned his phone toward me. Everything stopped. Photos, dozens of them. Ethan kissing someone. Ethan holding hands with someone. Ethan in bed with someone. Claire. My best friend since elementary school. My maid of honor. The girl who'd helped me pick out my wedding dress. I grabbed the phone, my hands shaking. I scrolled up. The timestamps went back months, 3 months, 4 months, some from when I was out of town for work, some from when I thought he was working late. No, I whispered. No, this isn't. We're getting married, he said, simply taking the phone back. Claire and I. The wedding's already planned, same venue, same date, same everything. We just swapped out the bride. The room tilted. What? You heard me. We're keeping everything you planned. It's all paid for anyway, mostly by you. Claire and I are getting married in 3 weeks. I couldn't breathe. You've been cheating on me. And you kissed your ex at your bachelorette party. He shot back. So I guess we're both terrible people, but at least I'm honest now. You're not honest. You've been lying for months, he shrugged. And now I'm not. I wanted to tell you sooner, but Claire thought it would be too cruel. But since you decided to hook up with Ryan, I didn't hook up with him. I kissed him. Once. Well, you've been screwing my best friend for months. Well, he said, walking toward the door and opening it. I guess we're done here. You can tell people whatever version makes you feel better. I'll tell them the truth that you cheated on me first. That's not Claire will be moving in here next week, he continued. Like I hadn't spoken. You might want to get the rest of your things from your place. I think you left some of my stuff there too. I'll send Claire to pick it up. You're sending her to my apartment? Why not? She's my fiancé now. He said it so casually, like he was talking about the weather. Oh, and Maya, your little confession actually saved me a lot of guilt, so thanks for that. He closed the door in my face. I stood there staring at the wood, unable to move, unable to think, unable to process what had just happened. My confession hadn't mattered. My guilt hadn't mattered. He'd already been done with me. I'd just given him an easy way out. I don't remember getting in my car. I don't remember driving. But suddenly I was standing outside Claire's apartment building, my fist pounding on her door hard enough to hurt. Claire! Open this door. Claire! The door opened. She stood there wearing one of my old college sweatshirts, the one that said Columbia across the front. The one I'd lent her years ago and never got back. That small detail broke something inside me. How could you? My voice came out strangled. How could you do this to me? Claire actually looked relieved, like she'd been waiting for this. Maya, I wanted to tell you so many times. This person I'd known since we were 8 years old. The girl who'd held my hair back when I got food poisoning in 9th grade. The girl who'd helped me move into my first apartment. The girl who knew everything about me. He was mine, I whispered. He never was, she said, and there was something almost pitying in her voice. He was just waiting for the right person to come along. That's me, Maya. That's us. We were getting married in 3 weeks. And now I am. She crossed her arms. Look, I'm sorry you're hurt, but you can't own people. And you can't fight real love? Real love? You stole my fiancé? I didn't steal anything. He chose me. He's been choosing me for months. She stepped back, starting to close the door. You'll understand eventually when you find someone who actually makes you happy. I was happy. We were happy. No, Maya. You were comfortable. There's a difference. The door closed. I stood there, my hands still raised, tears streaming down my face. Couldn't move, couldn't think. My whole body was shaking. Maya, I turned. Jessica was walking up the hallway, her eyes wide with concern. I called you 15 times, she said, rushing over. I saw your location was here, and what happened? She's marrying him, I choked out. They're getting married. My wedding. My venue. My date. Everything. Oh, Maya. Jessica wrapped her arms around me and I collapsed. Just completely fell apart right there in that hallway. I kissed Ryan. I sobbed into her shoulder. I messed up and I kissed Ryan. And now Ethan's marrying Claire and everything is gone. This is not your fault, Jessica said firmly, helping me up. Can you walk? Can you walk? Come on, you're coming to my place? I can't. You can. Come on. She guided me down the hallway, down the stairs, into her car. I couldn't stop shaking. Couldn't stop seeing Claire's face. So calm, so sure of herself. Only victory. That's what I'd seen in her eyes. Not regret. Not guilt. Victory. How long have you known? I asked as Jessica drove. Known what? That they were together. Jessica's hands tightened on the steering wheel. I didn't know. I swear to God, Maya. I didn't know. If I had, I would have told you immediately. I wanted to believe her. I needed to believe someone was still on my side. Did everyone know? I whispered. Was I the only idiot who didn't see it? You're not an idiot. You trusted the people you loved. That's not stupid. That's human. But it felt stupid. It felt like the stupidest thing I'd ever done. 3 days. I spent 3 days on Jessica's couch, unable to eat, unable to sleep, just scrolling through my phone looking at old photos, trying to find the moment when everything went wrong. There, Ethan's face in the background of a photo Claire had posted. When had that been? There, a comment from Claire on one of my posts. He's so lucky to have you. But her eyes in the photo looked different, calculated. There, a picture of the 3 of us at dinner. Had they been sleeping together then? Had they been laughing at me? Enough. Jessica snatched my phone away on day 4. You need to stop torturing yourself. I need to understand. You need to understand what you're dealing with. These people aren't who you thought they were. She sat down next to me, opening her laptop. Let me show you something. She pulled up Claire's blog. That lifestyle blog she was always posting on. The one where she shared outfit ideas and relationship advice. The irony wasn't lost on me. Look at the dates, Maya. Look carefully. I leaned forward. Claire's posts from the last 4 months, all with weird captions. Sometimes the heart wants what it wants. Posted 3 months ago. The best love stories start as secrets. Posted 2 months ago. Waiting for my real happily ever after. Posted 6 weeks ago. She was documenting it. I breathed. She was writing about stealing my fiancé online, and I didn't even notice. Because you trusted her. Because you're a normal person who doesn't look for hidden meanings in your best friend's social media. I scrolled through the comments. Some people had clearly known what she was talking about. Ooh, spill the tea, one said. Can't wait to hear this story, said another. They'd known. People I didn't even know had figured it out, and I'd been completely clueless. The doorbell rang. That's my cousin. Jessica said, standing up. Marcus, he's a lawyer. I asked him to come talk to you. Jessica, I can't afford. He's doing this as a favor. Just listen to him. Marcus came in wearing a suit, carrying a briefcase. He was tall, mid-30s, with kind eyes that didn't have that awful pity I'd been seeing everywhere else. Miss Collins, he said, shaking my hand. I'm sorry we're meeting under these circumstances. Call me Maya. Please. We sat down. And he opened his briefcase, pulling out papers. Jessica told me the basics. Your ex-fiancé and your former friend are using your wedding, the one you planned and paid deposits for. Is that correct? Yes. Everything. The venue, the flowers, the photographer. I paid for most of it because Ethan said he was saving for the honeymoon. Marcus made notes. Do you have receipts? Proof of payment? Everything's in my email. I was so organized. I laughed bitterly. I had a whole spreadsheet. Good. That helps. They can't just take your bookings without your permission. We can contest this legally. They're using your wedding, your deposits, everything you planned and paid for. We can contest this. But I barely heard him. I was stuck on something else. How many people knew? I asked quietly. Jessica and Marcus exchanged looks. Maya, Jessica started. No, I need to know. All those comments on Claire's blog. Everyone at the Bachelorette party who acted weird. How many people watched me plan my wedding while knowing my groom was screwing my best friend? It doesn't matter, Jessica said. It matters to me. Marcus closed his folder. Look, people are cowards. They convince themselves it's not their business, or they don't want to hurt you, or they're not sure. But Maya, the fact that they knew and didn't tell you says everything about them. Nothing about you. I wanted to believe that. I really did. I showed up at my father's house at midnight, crying so hard I couldn't speak. I hadn't wanted to bother him, but I had nowhere else to go. Jessica's couch was too small. My own apartment held too many memories, and I just needed my dad. He opened the door in his pajamas, took one look at me, and pulled me inside. Maya, sweetheart, what happened? I couldn't get the words out. I just sobbed into his chest while he held me, the way he used to when I was little and had nightmares. Finally, I managed to tell him everything. The kiss. The photos. Claire. The wedding. Tell me who I need to hurt, he said, and I'd never heard that tone in his voice before. My father was gentle kind, but right now he sounded dangerous. Tell me, Maya. There's nothing you can do, Dad. They won. They took everything. He pulled back, looking at me intently. They took nothing that matters. You still have yourself. You still have your integrity. They're the ones who lost something precious, and they're too stupid to know it yet. I feel so stupid. You trusted people you loved. That's not stupid. That's brave. He squeezed my shoulders. Your mother always said that the people who betray you reveal their own character, not yours. And baby, you have more character in your little finger than both of them combined. I stayed the night in my old room, surrounded by high school trophies and college textbooks. It felt like going backward, but somehow it also felt safe. The next morning, my phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Maya, dear, it's Sophia Red. I sat up fast. Ethan's mother. The woman who'd always intimidated me with her perfect hair, perfect clothes, perfect everything. Mrs. Reed, I need to speak with you. In person. Today. Are you available? It wasn't really a question. Where? She named a restaurant downtown, one of those places where the prices aren't even on the menu. Noon. Don't be late. She hung up before I could respond. Dad, I have to go meet Ethan's mom. My father frowned. Do you want me to come with you? No, I need to do this alone. At exactly noon, I walked into the restaurant wearing the only clean dress I had left. Sophia was already there, sitting at a corner table, looking like she belonged on the cover of a magazine. I sat down, my heart racing. Mrs. Reed. My son is a fool, she said immediately. And that Claire girl is a social climbing parasite. I blinked. I'm sorry, what? What? I want you to know that not everyone in the Reed family supports this travesty. She slid a folder across the table. Evidence of their affair, documented and dated. Financial records showing Ethan used your joint account to buy her gifts. Text messages I retrieved from his old phone that he stupidly left at my house. Use them however you see fit. I opened the folder with shaking hands. Bank statements showing payments to jewelry stores, restaurants, hotels. Text messages between Ethan and Claire going back 5 months. Everything I'd need to prove what they'd done. Why are you helping me? I whispered. Sophia took a sip of her wine. Because I raised my son better than this, and clearly I failed. Because that girl Claire came to my house last week and called me mom, and I wanted to throw her out. But mostly, she stood up, gathering her purse. Because I recognize quality when I see it. And you, my dear, are worth 10 of them. She left cash on the table and walked out, leaving me sitting there with a folder full of ammunition and absolutely no idea what to do with it. The invitation arrived on a Tuesday. Cream-colored cardstock, elegant script, my own design. Claire Thompson and Ethan read request the pleasure of your company at their wedding. Same venue, same dates, same time. Just a different bride. I stared at it, unable to believe they'd actually sent me one. This had to be intentional. They wanted to hurt me. They're sociopaths, Jessica hissed when she saw it. Who does this? Who sends the ex-fiancé an invitation to the replacement wedding? People who want to prove they won, I said quietly, but worse was coming. Claire posted about it 2 days later. A long blog post titled, When Love Finds You in Unexpected Places. I couldn't help myself. I read it. Sometimes life doesn't go according to plan. Sometimes the heart wants what it wants, even when the timing is complicated. I never expected to fall in love with my best friend's fiancé, but real love doesn't follow rules or timelines. It just is. I struggled with my feelings for months, trying to deny what my heart was telling me. But when you know, you know. And Ethan knew too. Tried to fight it, but eventually, we had to accept the truth. We're soulmates. I know this journey will be controversial. I know some people won't understand. But I've learned that you can't live your life for other people's approval. You have to follow your heart even when the path is difficult. To those who have supported us during this transition, thank you. And to those who judge, I hope you never have to choose between your happiness and someone else's expectations. I can't wait to marry my best friend in 3 weeks. True love always finds a way. I read it 3 times, feeling sicker each time. She'd made herself the heroine, made me the obstacle, made their cheating sound like some kind of romantic destiny. The comments were split. Half were congratulating her, calling it brave and honest. The other half were calling her a friendship, stealing, husband-stealing monster. I closed my laptop, hands shaking. My phone rang. Raya, I saw Claire's post. I'm so sorry. This is my fault. If I hadn't, stop. I cut him off. He didn't make them cheat for months. Didn't make them steal my wedding. They did that all on their own. Can I see you? Please? I need to explain. We met at a coffee shop near my office. Ryan looked terrible, like he hadn't slept in days. I kissed you because I never stopped loving you, he said immediately. But I would never have done it if I'd known it would give him an excuse to destroy you. Maya, I'm so sorry. You loved me? I asked quietly. I never stopped. I know we broke up for good reasons. I wanted to travel. You wanted stability. But I've always regretted letting you go. I reached across the table, but stopped before touching my hand. I came to your bachelorette party to tell you that. To try one last time. And I know that was selfish, but he was already cheating, I said. For months. With Claire. My kissing you didn't cause any of this. It just gave him a convenient excuse. Ryan's face darkened. That bastard. Yeah. What are you going to do? And that's when I realized. I didn't know. For weeks, I'd been drowning in hurt and confusion. Sitting there, looking at Ryan's genuine remorse, thinking about Claire's blog post and Ethan's smugness, I felt something different. Anger. Pure, clean, clarifying anger. I'm going to survive, I said, and they're going to regret this. 4 weeks after the confession, I woke up and realized I'd slept through the night. No nightmares. No waking up at 3 a.m. thinking about them. Just sleep. The constant ache in my chest was still there, but it felt different, harder, like armor instead of a wound. You look different, Jessica said when I met her for breakfast. Are you okay? No, I said honestly, but I'm going to be. I started running that afternoon. I'd never been a runner, always made excuses about bad knees or not having time, but I needed to feel something I could control. So I ran until my lungs burned and my legs screamed and I couldn't think about anything except putting one foot in front of the other. The next day, I went through my apartment with garbage bags. Everything Ethan had bought me. Clothes, jewelry, books, that stupid coffee maker, all of it went in. I didn't cry. I just bagged it up and dropped it at Goodwill. Then I went to a salon. How much do you want off? The stylist asked. 10 inches. Her eyes widened. Are you sure? That's a lot. I've never been more sure of anything. An hour later, I walked out with a shoulder-length bob. My hair had been long since college. Ethan had loved my long hair. Said it was beautiful. Good. He didn't get an opinion anymore. Marcus called that afternoon. I filed the initial paperwork. They're gonna have to answer for using your deposits and bookings. You have a strong case, Maya. Good. Make them pay for every penny. That's the spirit. He paused. How are you doing? Really? I'm angry, I admit it is that bad. That's healthy. Anger means you're not accepting what they did to you. Use it. I went back to work the next Monday. My boss, Linda, called me into her office immediately. Maya, are you sure you're ready to be back? I need to be here. I need normal. She studied me for a moment. Okay. But if you need anything, I need work. I need projects. I need to think about something other than my personal life. Then you've got it. I threw myself into everything. Stayed late every night. Took on extra projects. Volunteered for the campaign. No one else wanted. Work was measurable. Work had clear goals and outcomes. Work made sense when nothing else did. The coffee shop across from my office became my sanctuary. Every morning, I'd stop in for a latte before work. After about a week, the owner, Nathan, according to his name tag, started having it ready for me. You're here early, he said one morning, sliding a latte across the counter. Can't sleep. Then you need better coffee, he smiled. This one's on me. For the girl who looks like she's fighting a war. I looked at him. Really looked at him. Probably early 30s, kind eyes, easy smile. The kind of person who noticed things. I'm fighting a war, I told him. Then you need fuel, he said simply. Coffee's the least I can do. It became routine. Every morning, Nathan would have my coffee ready. We'd talk for a few minutes. Nothing deep, just easy conversation that didn't require me to explain or justify or relive anything. It was such a small thing. But somehow, his kindness mattered more than all the elaborate apologies I'd never gotten from the people who'd actually hurt me. I wasn't looking for revenge. I was looking for survival, for sanity, for some way to get through each day without breaking down. But karma, it seemed, had its own plans. Jessica texted me first. Have you seen Claire's blog lately? I hadn't. I'd stopped checking it 2 weeks ago for my own mental health. What now? Just look. I pulled it up. The comments section was a war zone. People were ripping her apart. You stole your best friend's fiancé, and you're trying to make it sound romantic? You're disgusting. I hope karma comes for you. What kind of person does this? The next post had even more. And the one after that, Claire had made all her accounts private, but the damage was done. Screenshots were everywhere. Turns out, brands don't love being associated with the friendship-stealing bride, Jessica told me over the phone. She's lost 3 sponsorships in the last week. I should have felt good about that, but mostly I just felt tired. Then Marcus called. Ethan's firm just lost a major client. The Berkshire project, you know? That huge downtown development. How do you know? The wedding planner told me. Olivia, right? She's the one who coordinated your original wedding? Yeah. She's been telling everyone in her network what he did. Word spreads fast in professional circles, and apparently the Berkshire people have strong feelings about character. She did that for me. She did it because she has standards. But yes, it helps you. Even Sophia was making moves. She called me one afternoon, her voice crisp and satisfied. I've started making some calls, she said. Social ones. Ethan and Claire are finding that certain doors are suddenly closed to them. You don't have to do that. Oh, I want to. That girl tried to call me mom again last week. I told her my daughter-in-law died with my son's integrity, and I don't plan on replacing either. I actually laughed at that. Your ex-fiancé called me yesterday, Jessica said a few days later, her voice tight with barely controlled rage. I was at her apartment and we were making dinner. Or she was making dinner while I chopped vegetables badly. Ethan, what did he want? He wanted me to convince you to drop the legal claims. Said you were being vindictive and petty. Said he thought you were bigger than this. She slammed a pot down on the stove. Can you believe the audacity? What did you tell him? I told him to go to hell and that you were the best thing that ever happened to his worthless life. Then I hung up on him." She paused, turning to look at me. "He also said Claire's been stressed about the wedding. Apparently, planning it isn't as fun when everyone thinks you're a terrible person." I felt a dark satisfaction at that. Not because I wanted them to suffer. Okay, maybe a little because of that, but because I wanted them to understand. Actions have consequences. Betrayal has a price. And sometimes that price comes due faster than you think. The day of what should have been my wedding, I woke up at 6 a.m. and went for a run. Then I showered, did my makeup, and put on my favorite dress, the red one I'd been saving for our rehearsal dinner. I wasn't hiding. I wasn't crying. I was living my life. Nathan had my coffee ready when I walked in. "Big day today," he said carefully. "Yep. You doing okay? Ask me tonight?" I took the coffee, but I'm going to try. I went to the park. Read a book. Had lunch at my favorite restaurant. Called my dad. "How are you holding up, sweetheart?" "I'm okay, Dad. Really. Your mother would be so proud of you. The way you've handled this with grace and strength." I don't feel graceful. Grace isn't about being perfect. It's about surviving with dignity. And you've got that in spades. That evening, Jessica picked me up, and we went to her place for dinner. She didn't mention the wedding. Neither did I. We just watched terrible reality TVs and ate takeout and pretended it was a normal Saturday night. But my phone kept buzzing. "Sophia, half the guest list didn't show. She's crying in the bathroom. He's drinking heavily. It's a disaster. Olivia, I've never seen a sadder wedding. No one's celebrating. Everyone's uncomfortable. Just thought you'd want to know. Marcus, the venue manager just told me they're refusing to refund your deposit even though we have documentation. But they also charged Ethan and Claire full price again for the booking violation. They're paying double." I should have felt triumphant. Instead, I just felt empty. Ryan texted, "You doing okay today?" "I'm surviving," I wrote back. "That's more than they deserve from you." "You deserve someone who sees you as irreplaceable." He never did. Around midnight, after Jessica had fallen asleep on the couch, my phone buzzed one more time. Unknown number, photo. Ethan and Claire at their reception, both looking miserable. Claire's smile was painted on, her eyes red and swollen. Ethan was staring at his phone instead of his new bride. Everyone around them looked uncomfortable. The message said, "Congrats on your downgrade, Ethan." A concerned guest, I stared at it for a long moment. Then I deleted it. I didn't need to see their misery to validate my worth. 6 months after the confession that destroyed my life, I barely recognized myself. I got the promotion at work. Senior marketing director. The position I'd been working toward for 3 years, the one Ethan had always said I wasn't ready for. I ran a half marathon, finished it in under 2 hours, called my dad from the finish line, crying happy tears for the first time in months. I took a solo trip to Portugal. Walked through Lisbon alone, ate dinner alone, watched the sunset alone, and I didn't post a single photo. I just existed, for myself, without needing anyone's validation or approval. Nathan and I had become genuine friends. Not dating. I wasn't ready for that, might never be ready for that with him specifically. But easy companionship, good conversation. Really excellent coffee. "You seem happy," he said one morning. "I'm getting there." He'd started dating someone, a photographer he'd met on assignment. I was genuinely happy for him. We weren't meant to be, I told him over coffee one afternoon. We wanted different things. We still do. But I'm glad we're friends. "Me too," he said. "And Maya, you're going to be okay." Better than okay. The legal settlement came through in month 5. Ethan and Claire had to pay me back every penny I'd contributed to the wedding, plus damages for emotional distress and contract violations. Marcus called it a decisive victory. I called it closure. They tried to settle for less 3 times, Marcus told me, but we held firm. You deserved every penny. Through Sophia, who I now had lunch with once a month, I heard that Ethan and Claire's marriage was already struggling. "They're in counseling," she told me over tea, her voice dripping with irony. "Apparently, when your relationship is built on betrayal and deception, trust becomes impossible." Who knew? I don't hate them anymore, I admitted. I don't think about them at all, most days. "That," Sophia said, raising her cup, "is the best revenge of all. My father came to visit that weekend. We cooked dinner together in my apartment. The one I'd redecorated after moving out of the place I'd shared memories of Ethan. "I'm proud of you," he said while we chopped vegetables. "Not for surviving, but for transforming. You took the worst thing that could happen and turned it into fuel." Some days I still feel broken. Broken things can be repaired, and sometimes they're stronger in the mended places. He squeezed my shoulder. "Your mother used to say that adversity doesn't build character, it reveals it. And Maya, you've shown more character in 6 months than most people show in a lifetime." I still had bad days. Days when I wondered if I'd ever trust anyone again. Days when I questioned my judgment, my worth, my ability to love and be loved. But I also had good days. Days when I felt strong and capable and whole. Days when I looked in the mirror and liked the woman staring back at me. And those good days were starting to outnumber the bad ones. One year after the confession that destroyed my life, I sat in Nathan's coffee shop with Jessica, reviewing the marketing campaign I'd led that had just won my company a major industry award. "Your name is on the plaque," Jessica said, grinning. "Maya Collins, Senior Marketing Director. It has a nice ring to it. Feels surreal," I admitted. The bell above the door chimed. A young couple walked in, the woman carrying bridal magazines, both of them glowing with that unmistakable look of newly engaged people. They sat down near us, and I watched them for a moment. The way he looked at her, really looked at her, like she was the only person in the room. The way she touched his hand. The easy intimacy between them. I felt something, but it wasn't jealousy. It was recognition. I thought I had that once, but I'd been in love with an illusion. Ethan had never looked at me like that. Even in our best moments, there'd been something missing. I just hadn't wanted to see it, and Claire had never been my friend. Not really. She'd been a wolf in sheep's clothing, waiting for her moment to strike. I'd lost my fiancé and my best friend in one night, but I'd found myself. I discovered I was stronger than I ever knew. That betrayal doesn't define you. How you rise from it does. That sometimes the people who hurt you do you the biggest favor of your life by showing you who they really are. My phone buzzed. "Ryan, coffee this week? There's someone I want you to meet." His girlfriend, probably. I smiled and texted back. "Sure. Wednesday work? Maybe someday I'd be ready for love again. Real love, not the comfortable compromise I'd mistaken for it. Or maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I'd build a life so full and rich that romance was just a bonus, not a necessity. Either way, I knew I'd be okay. Because the woman I was now, she didn't need saving. She didn't need a man to complete her. She didn't need anyone's approval or validation. She was her own hero. That was more than enough.